hilarious INSTAMATE. Look at this weird opening. And look how aggressive this is, just out with the queen. They're all very aggressive.
Kingside castling.
So look, he's just going to push these pawns, isn't he, all the way to the king. No choice but to fianchetto because of the way I've blocked the other pawn in, unfortunately, so my development's going to be a bit slow. And I'm not really happy with the way my development's gone up to this point, but then again I'm looking at his and thinking that there's got to be some serious holes. So I'm trying to blockade. They're very dangerous, these pawns, when they push them forward like this. No choice really there but to, you see, and then they're starting to break through almost. And now his queen's in a very dangerous spot. So, but I've got this unassailable bishop here, look, that cannot be touched now. Only thing that could shift that bishop is a knight. And he's struggling to get a knight onto the right square to shift it. Which I think was what all those knight moves are about. They're not part of his attack directly. They're more trying to get rid of this bishop. But now he's seeing opportunities for some revealed checks and nasty things here. And so I went straight for a retreat situation. Because now if he takes this pawn, I think rook takes pawn is pretty safe. And now the knight comes in. Luckily not on the most dangerous square it could have been on. Would have been much worse if it had been on my g3 square, for example, with check. And now I want to try and exchange queens because there's too much heat in the kitchen. He doesn't want to exchange, and that means that I will force it, because I always try and give my opponent what he doesn't want. Exchange is forced, and now the knight must retreat, and the king is relatively safe for a moment. He's going to try and break through now here. This may not necessarily be a recapture, this may well just become a blockading piece, this rook. But no, he pushes, so my king has to come here, which I don't like, because now my king is effectively unable to move anywhere but for the back rank. So I've got this other piece I must get out. I must link my rooks, I must mobilise this other knight and see what he can do. He's eyeing now yet another square. I now have only one square the king can move to, which is the one that the rook is already on. So got to get this knight into play. And as you see, there is a check fork with a rook coming up that would be pretty nasty for him.
Queenside castling.
So he castles and
checkmate.
INSTAMATE. And this is the big danger with castling when your king is that exposed, is sometimes you just don't realise which squares are going to end up being the ones that your king is marked on and can't escape to. So just again,
Queenside castling.
From there, you know, his king doesn't look that, you know, it looks alright, doesn't he? No one can imagine getting checkmated with a knight and a bishop combination. But
queenside castling, checkmate.
There it is, and it must have been a pretty cold water shock for him. INSTAMATE.